प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय श्रीला प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय श्री गुरु चरण पद्मा केवल भक्ति सद्मा जय श्रील प्रभुपाद श्री गुरु चरण पद्मा केवल भक्ति सद्मा वंदो मोए सावधान माते वंदो मोए वंदो मोए सावधान माते याहार प्रसाद भाई ए भाव तो रिहाया याहार राधे भाई ए भाव तो रिहाया कृष्ण प्राप्ति हो होते कृष्ण प्राप्ति कृष्ण प्राप्ति होते गुरु मुखा पद्मा वाक्य जीते कोरिया आज्ञा everyone गुरु मुखा पद्मा वाक्य जीते कोरिया आज्ञा पद्मा वाक्य जीते कोरिया आज्ञा आराधना करी हो माने आशा आराधना करी आशा आराधना करी हो माने आशा आराधना करी हो माने आशा श्री गुरु चरणे राती ऐसे उत्तम गति श्री गुरु प्रभुपाद श्री गुरु चरण राती ऐसे उत्तम गति प्रसाद पूरे सर्वा आशा ये प्रसाद पूरे सर्व आशा ये प्रसाद आशा ये प्रसाद पूरे सर्वा हो चक्षुदान दिलो ये जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से चक्षुदान दिलो ये हाँ चक्षुदान दिलो ये जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से चक्षुदान दिलो ये हाँ दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशित दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशित प्रेमा भक्ति होइते अविद्या विनाशायाते वेद भक्ति बोलो 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 प्रेमा भक्ति होइते अविद्या विनाशायाते वेदे गायार चरित हाँ वेदे गायार चरित गुरु करुणा सिंधु आधमा जनारा बांधो श्री गुरु का बोलो बोलो आधमा जना ओ श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु आधमा जनारा बांधो लोकेरा दीवाना शिला प्रभुपाद लोकेरा दीवाना हा प्रभु करो दया देह मरे पाद छाया प्रभु आहा प्रभु करो दया देह मोरे पाद छाया प्रभु जय जय एबे आज गुरुद्रे भुवाना ओ दुई पादे लयरा चराना त्रिभुवाना प्रभुपाद 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 जय प्रभुपाद जय 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 प्रभुपाद 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 जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद निताय गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल गौरा हरि बोल शील प्रभुपाद गुरु पूजा की नमो विष्णु पदाय कृष्ण प्रसाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामीति नामिने नमो कृष्ण प्रसाय भूतले सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रजा बोलो बोलो निर्विशेष नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमस्ते प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरा भक्ता वृंद प्रभु नित्यानंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरा भक्त वृंद हरि बोल जय Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Bolo 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 bolo, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Top of your voice, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. One more. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Bolo Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Hari Bol, go to Hari Bol. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai Nityananda Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravajagacharya Sadhana Sri His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavindi ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridasta Koti jai. Prem Shikaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasani Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Radha Krishna Govinath Shaima Kunda Radha Kundagiri Govardhan ki jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Shri Navadvip Dham ki jai. Shri Jagannath Puri Dham ki jai. Ganga Mai ki jai. Jamuna Mai ki jai. Bhakti Devi ki jai. Tulsi Devi ki jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gaura. Glories to Shri Bow down at his lotus feet, great awe and reverence. His grace will interrupt the ocean of joy. May his mercy first. I know I'm breaking the tradition a little bit maybe, but I like to sing this song by that Lord Chaitanya chanted when he was moving through the Jharikanda forest. And it's a prayer for protection. And, let's see if I can remember the words. Krishna 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 Hey Krishna 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 Hey Krishna 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 Rakshamam Krishna 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 Vahimam Rama Raghava Rama Raghava Rama Raghava Rakshamam Krishna Keshava Krishna Keshava Krishna Keshava Vahimam Krishna 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 Hey Krishna 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 Hey Krishna 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 Rakshamam Krishna 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 Vahimam Rama Raghava Rama Raghava Rama Raghava Rakshamam Rama Raghava Rama Raghava Rama Raghava Rakshamam Krishna Keshava Krishna Keshava Krishna Keshava Vahimam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda Jai Dvaita Chandra Jai Gaur Bhaktivedanta Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda Jai Dvaita Chandra Jai Gaur Bhaktivedanta Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda Jai Nityananda Jai Dvaita Chandra Jai Gaur Bhaktivedanta So we're reading from the magnificent Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And yesterday, Vishaka Prabhu gave an amazing class where she summarized the whole Chaitanya Charitamrita up to this verse. Quite remarkable. Good memory also. To do that, you have to have read it many times. So I was impressed. But I'm always impressed by Vishaka Prabhu because she's done so much for Prabhu. So now today's verse, let's get the verse I'm supposed to. 238. Who's our Bengali expert? She's not here. Anyway, I'll have to go. Tatapi eteka anakaunanayaya. Tatapi eteka anakaunanayaya. Bhattakahi janikau yateka yuyaya. Tatapi eteka anakaunanayaya. Bhattakahi janikau yateka yuyaya. Tatapi tekana kaunanayaya. Bhattakahi janikau yateka yuyaya.
Tathapi eteka anakaunanayaya.
Vaishnavis. Tatapi, still, eteka, so much, ana, food, kauna, eating, nayaya, is not possible. Bhattakai, the Bhattacharya said, Jani, I know. Cow. You can eat. Yateka. Very good. I'm sorry. Yateka, how much? Yuyaya is possible. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then said, there's so much food here that it's impossible to eat it all. So this is Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and his wife were fabulous cooks, and they had prepared so many amazing preparations that Lord Chaitanya was a bit astonished actually to see it all. So he goes on, but the Bhattacharya replied, I know how much you can eat. Very knowingly. he's playing, but he's a bit of, not exactly teasing, but he's joking a little bit with Lord Chaitanya. He knows who Lord Chaitanya is. And Lord Chaitanya, of course, is pretending not to be that. Well, I say pretending, I mean, he doesn't, that's not his mood. He doesn't want to be thought of as, you know, the Supreme Lord. Yet, nonetheless, in a sense, because he sort of pulled an etiquette hoax on Lord Chaitanya because he's such a famous pundit, famous scholar. So he's kind of playing with Lord Chaitanya a little bit, not letting him get away with pretending not to be God. So he's kind of joking with him. And then he proves his point. He goes in the next verse, after all, at Jagannath Puri you eat 52 times a day. And each time you eat hundreds of buckets filled with prasadam. So he's beginning to call his bluff, you see. Then at Dwarka, you keep 16,000 queens and 16,000 palaces. Also, there are 18 mothers and numerous friends and relatives of the Yadu dynasty. And then in today's verse, Vraje Jeta Kuda Mama Pishadi Gopagan Sakavrinda Sabhara Ghori Dvishandhya Bhojan. In Vrindavan, you also have your father's elder brothers, your father's younger brothers, maternal uncles, husbands of your father's sisters, and many cowherd men. There are also cowherd boyfriends, and you eat twice a day, morning and evening, in the house of each and every one. So, being a scholar, he could philosophically, out of his newly developed bhakti, because he was new to the Vaishnava sentiment, you could say. But he's completely, he's taking advantage of his scholarly reputation to defeat Lord Chaitanya's arguments. So, purport. In Dwarka, Lord Krishna had 18 mothers, Devaki, Rohini, and others. Besides these was his foster mother, Jashoda, in Vrindavan. Lord Krishna also had many uncles, as stated by Srila Rupa Goswami in his Brihad Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gunadesh Deepika. Upanando Vinanandas Cha Pitrivyao Purva Jao Patu. The elder brothers of Nanda Maharaj were Upananda and Abhinanda. Similarly, in the same verse, the names of the younger brothers of Nanda Maharaj are given. Pitravyao to Kaniyangso Shatung Sananda Nandanao. Sananda and Nandana, also known as Sunanda and Pandava, were the younger brothers of Krishna's father, Nanda Maharaj. Sri Krishna's maternal uncles are also described in this book in verse 46. Yashodhara Jashodeva Sudevadyas to Matula. Jashodhara, Jashodeva, and Sudeva were the maternal uncles of Krishna. Also mentioned in the Radha Krishna Gunadesh Deepika are Krishna's uncles, who were the husbands of Nanda Maharaj's sisters. Mahanila, Sunilascha, Ramanam, Itayo, Kramat. Mahanila and Sunila are the husbands of Krishna's aunts. So this is just very... I have a copy of this book, which I'm going to read some of later, but the Radha Krishna Gunadesh Deepika. Does anybody know who the author of Radha Krishna Gunadesh Deepika? Does anybody know the author? Yes, Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami, when you hear some of these things, well, it will be a little later. I have other things to do first. But Rupa Goswami, you can only wonder when you read this book, if you do read it, how does he know so much? It's just astounding. He knows all of Krishna's relatives, friends. He knows all of Krishna's servants. He knows all of Krishna. Even there's a section where he's describing who the spies for Krishna are, who his spies are. And then you have to wonder, well, what is this? Why would Krishna have spies? Because he wants to know what's going on, and he likes to hear from his devotees what's going on. He may know everything that's going on, but he likes to have people tell him what's going on, and then he can relish the mystery of the exchanges of love between his friends and his lovers and his elders and his juniors and everyone. He wants to hear. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about the Radha Krishna Gunadesh Deepika a little later, but I have some other things I wanted to bring forward. One thing that's come out in this portion, Vishaka Prabhu mentioned yesterday, that one thing that has come out is this Madhya Leela is much concerned with the intimate dealings between Krishna and his devotees. The loving dealings where Krishna is praising and singing the glories of his followers, and they're in return singing his glories and worshiping him in a wonderful way. So this is the real family life. So this is sort of like the theme of, my theme anyway, of today's class is Krishna is not alone. Sometimes you see pictures of Krishna and there's no one else around. That's not realistic. Krishna is always with his devotees, and he's relishing relationships with his devotees. You know, we talk about the love of God, but God's love for us is pretty unlimited if you examine it philosophically. If you accept the existence of God, then you have to imagine how he can have relationships with uncountable living entities and loving relationships. Even as the proof, of course, is that he's traveling as Paramatma with each soul, despite their crazy behavior or their unlawful, you could say, unlawful behavior. Yet he comes along and, you know, he tries to give guidance, but generally speaking, people don't pay any attention to that guidance. So that's our dilemma. There's a song by Narottam Das Thakur. This is not directly related to my theme so much, but it's a little bit about renunciation, and it's very much about lamentation. So one might think that lamentation is a bad thing. No, it's actually, as it comes out in this song, it's a good thing. This is the song called Gaura Pahu. And this is a line from the song. It says, Gaura Pahu means Lord Chaitanya, and Na Bhajya means without worshiping. Mainu means I've invited spiritual death. Adane yatane kari dhanu toinu. Why have I invited spiritual death? Because I am engaged in something which is useless. And I have rejected the real purpose of my life. So this is the lamentation of a Vaishnava. Adane means valueless things. Adana means valuables. So actually, every one of us, neglecting our spiritual emancipation, are engaged in material sense gratification and are losing the opportunity of this human body to elevate ourselves to the spiritual platform. So this is the nature of Narottam's, and it's for our benefit. Of course, we know that he's a great soul. But on our behalf, he says, we're neglecting this opportunity of the human form of life and inviting spiritual death. He says, Prema Ratana Dhana Ilaya Harainu. These are all strictly from Prabhupada's commentary on the verse, not from me, by the way. I'm just a transmitter, I guess. A spiritual life means to develop real love. Everyone wants love. There are so many signboards, so many papers advertising love, but there is no love. This is illusion. It says, it is all lust, love for intoxication, love for sex, etc., but actual love is applicable only to Krishna with God, because we are created for that purpose. To love means to love Krishna, so that is wanted. That is spiritual love, prema ratana. I could achieve that transcendental position of love, but, there's the but I am neglecting. Therefore, I am inviting my spiritual death. And these things are happening due to my past misdeeds. Due to my past misdeeds, I've got a type of body. Everyone who has got this material body, it is due to past misdeeds. So, if we look at ourselves in the mirror, you're looking at past misdeeds. Partly, anyway. Some of you may be much more elevated than I can imagine, but generally speaking, that we have a body in this material world is symptomatic of the fact that we did something we shouldn't have. As the Christians say, we're sinners. And I don't know why I'm laughing about it. This is not a laughable song, laughable sentiments. He says, so long one gets this material body, there are impious deeds. Pious deeds means, sometimes we think of what pious means, and we have different ideas. Here's Prabhupada's definition. Pious deeds means no more material body. I like that. You know, he says that is pious deeds. So, the only problem with this new paper is hard to turn the pages. Further on in his purport to this song, he says, which is kind of touching more on the theme that I'm trying to develop here, says, one can understand about God only in the association of devotees. Therefore, we are advocating this Krishna consciousness movement. We're advocating it, almost like sounds like he's a lawyer or something. But if he is, he's a transcendental lawyer, and he says we're advocates. We're advocating this Krishna consciousness movement. Satsanga chadi asatyera vilas. And as soon as we give up the association of the devotees, immediately Maya will catch us. Maya is side by side, Prabhupada writes. As soon as we give up this company, Maya says, yes, come in my company. I don't know if anybody's heard Maya speaking like this to you before, but that's the way she talked. Very sweet, very charming. Yes, come in my company. Without any company, nobody can remain neutral. That is not possible. We must associate with either Maya or Krishna. And here's the part that I especially like. He says, Krishna means Krishna with his devotees. Krishna's never alone. Krishna is always with Radharani. Radharani is with the gopis. And Krishna is with the cowherd boys. We are not impersonalists. We do not see Krishna alone. Krishna consciousness means to keep association with the devotees of Krishna. So this is a very significant point. We think, well, I want to just associate with Krishna. He's the supreme pure, so all these other people are just in the way. They are obstacles. But we shouldn't see it like that. We should see that without them, well, first of all, they're part of his family. All these souls that have accepted Krishna, trying to pursue Krishna consciousness. And Narottam Das Thakur then says, I have drunk the most dangerous poison of sense gratification. Vishaya means sense gratification, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. These four principles are called Vishaya. Vishama means dangerously, and Visha means poison. If one is simply engaged with these four principles of life, just like animals, then it is to be supposed that he is simply drinking poison. I know this is kind of a heavy way to begin the class, I admit, but I just think in a way it sort of sets the scene of our existential dilemma. Our situation, that we've been drinking poison for many births. That's all. Vishaya, Vishama, Satata Kainu. I know this is poison, but I am so much intoxicated that I'm drinking this poison every moment. Gaura Kirtana Rasi Maghana Napainu. I could not merge myself into the Sankirtan movement started by Lord Chaitanya. This is a song of lamentation, and this is his lamentation. It's meant for us to hear and try to make it one with us, or with our own experience, that we should also, you could say, indulge in lamentation. It's purifying. So he goes on to say, that is actually the fact, Prabhupada says. Those who are too much attached to the materialistic way of life or always drinking the poison of sense gratification are not attracted by the Sankirtan movement. Then Prabhupada concludes his analysis of this song. He says, Narottam Das Thakur is not actually lamenting. He is representing us. If one comes to that point of lamentation, that is also very nice. Now just imagine how many people would tell you that. Prabhupada is saying, if you're lamenting your situation, he's saying that's very nice. Mostly people don't think of lamentation as being a nice sentiment or a nice thing to undergo, but here Prabhupada is saying, no, if one comes to that point of lamentation, that is also very nice. He immediately becomes purified. Lamentation means purification. So he says, Kenava achaya prana kichu bhali. Why am I living? I do not make association with the devotees. I do not take part in the Sankirtan movement. I do not understand what is Krishna. I do not understand what is Lord Chaitanya. So these are Prabhupada's expressing the meaning behind the lyrics of Narottam Das. I do not understand what is Lord Chaitanya. Then what am I living for? What is my happiness? What is the standard? What is the standard of happiness? Narottam says, Kena na gela. Why did I not die long, long ago? I should have died. What is the meaning of my living? So it is not only Narottam Das Thakur's lamentation, every one of us should think like that. If we cannot make association with devotees, if we do not understand what Krishna consciousness is, if we do not come in touch with Lord Chaitanya and his associates, it will be better for us to die. And there is no other remedy. This is the substance of this song. So this is my dark side beginning. But what I really want to explore, and I've gathered some different quotes from Prabhupada's purports about how Krishna is not alone. He's always with his family members. We're all part of Krishna's family. And Prabhupada explores this theme in various lectures and purports. But this is from the, this first one is from the Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, from a purport. He says, Krishna, of course, means Krishna and his confidential devotees. When we say Krishna, it doesn't mean just Krishna alone. It means Krishna and his confidential associates. When we speak of Krishna, Krishna means Krishna in his name, in his form, in his qualities, in his abode, and in his associates. Krishna is never alone. For the devotees of Krishna are not impersonalists. For example, a king is always associated with his secretary, his commander, his servant, and so much paraphernalia. As soon as we accept Krishna and his associates as our preceptors, means as our guides, as our gurus, not just Krishna, but we accept the associates of Krishna, the sincere associates of Krishna. That's part of accepting Krishna, Krishna and his associates. And he says, as soon as we accept Krishna and his associates as our preceptors, no ill effects can destroy our knowledge. So that means that's reality. This knowledge is reality. But sometimes we think something else is real, like this material world or these material bodies. So this is our situation, our existential dilemma, that we are accepting our material existence as very important. But what's important is to associate with Krishna and his associates. And Prabhupada, in different places, he describes this as Krishna's family. We want to be associated with Krishna's family, and that's what's described in this Radha Krishna Gunadesh Deepika. He goes into very extensive lists of all the different kinds of relationships Krishna has in Vrindavan especially. So here's another one. These are some more, this is from, let's see, I always try to tell where it's from, so you won't think I'm making this up. I'm sure from the way it sounds, you won't think I'm making it up in any case, because I could never speak like this. So Prabhupada says, this is from the, let's see, this one is from a lecture on Bhagavad Gita, verses 121 to 22. And he says, so, if we serve Krishna, that is our achyuta position. If we deny to serve Krishna, that is vichyuta, fallen condition. So there's achyuta and vichyuta, fallen condition. Achyuta and vichyuta. So to become Krishna conscious means achyuta gotra. So we're supposed to be trying to become part of the achyuta gotra. Gotra, perhaps you do not know. Prabhupada assumed right. When he gave this lecture, nobody knew what a gotra was. At least amongst us Western disciples. Prabhupada used these terms, and he realized they don't know what this means. As he would say, achyuta, perhaps you do not know. Gotra is the family tradition. According to Vedic civilization, everyone has got gotra. Gotra means of the same family of rishis, gotra from the rishis, how you're connected to the rishis. So we have to become achyuta gotra, again belonging to the family of Krishna. Now we are fallen. Therefore we have forgotten that we belong to the family of Krishna. And when we revive our consciousness, Krishna consciousness, that I belong to Krishna's family. Krishna is not alone. Eko Bahusham. He wants to enjoy. I think this is the thing that we sometimes forget. This is a standing invitation. Krishna has made a standing invitation to us to enjoy his company, to enjoy not only his company, but the company of all his liberated associates. Enjoy it. It's wonderful. Enter into, my family. Become part of it again. You've forgotten about it, but this is what, you really want. So this is now continuing this purport. He says, so we are family members of Krishna, not void. That is another rascaldom. Why Krishna should be alone? He is so powerful, he is so opulent. Have you got any experience that a powerful person, opulent person, is alone? Where is that example? Any rich man, any powerful man, any king, any lord, oh, he has got so many associates. So how Krishna can be alone? Krishna is never alone. Therefore, you will find always Krishna with the gopis, Krishna with the cowherd boys, Krishna with Arjuna. Krishna is never alone. So these are the conditions, of becoming Achyuta. So we're meant to become part of the Achyuta Gotra. So Arjuna knows all these things because he is a devotee. Therefore, particularly he is addressing Krishna in this verse, Senayor upayor madhye ratang shtapayame Achyuta. So this is such a nice point that we sometimes forget that really this is all about becoming happy and becoming happy and satisfied, and part of it. Family life is so much emphasized in this material world. You know, you see people that their family is their all in all. And of course, it's not a very happy situation because everybody keeps dying or getting diseased or getting old or suffering in so many ways. Adhyatmik, adhibhautik, adhidaivik. There's so many ways that you can suffer in this world. And whatever family you're attached to, it's a very temporary situation. But this is the eternal family, Achyuta Gotra. Anyway, therefore, there's a great, this next one is, there's not so many actually. There'll be time for questions, I think. He says, therefore, he says, intelligent men, they should inquire where we shall enter in family life, where we can eternally enjoy. So that's the question people ask. You know, I love this family life, but how can I do it eternally? So that is Krishna's family. You enter into Krishna's family, Vrindavan family, where Krishna has got his father, mother, his friends, his lover, his beloved, his cows, his garden, his Jamuna. You enter that family. Then, yadgatva nivartante, then you will not have to return back again to this temporary family which will not stay, which we often forget in the midst of our love, or so-called love. But he says, but if you enter Krishna's family, therefore Krishna comes. Krishna is so kind that you are so much attached to family, fond of family life. Just see here, I have got my family. I am not impersonal. I have got my family. I have got my father. I have got my mother. I have got my friend. I have got my beloved, Radharani, and the gopis. Everything I have got, you can enter also. Come. So Prabhupada is categorizing Krishna's invitation this way. He's saying, come, come. And then he says, why you are rotting here? So that's, he's saying, you can enter also. Come. Why are you rotting here? That is Krishna's mission. This is Krishna's mission. So this Krishna consciousness movement means to practice in this life how to enter Krishna's family. You enter Krishna's family as you like. There are 5 rasas, and then he details the rasas. Excuse me. But he says, that's reflected in this world also. In other words, we have the same thing in this world, but it's got some problems. He says, this is reflected in this world, Tejo Vari Madang Vinimaya. This material world is the reflection of the spiritual world. Chayeva Yasya Bhuvanani Vibharti Durga. This is from, what is that from? See, he's quick. Yes, this is from the Brahma Samhita. Here there are rasas, Shanta ras, Dasya ras. Here also there's master and servant. There is friend and friend. There is father and mother and the son. There is beloved. Everything is there. But they are imitation. Chaya. They are not reality. Remember we were talking about what is reality. Krishna and his associates, and becoming part of that family. That's reality, but he's saying here, they are not reality. So if you want real friendship, then make friendship with Krishna. Now, I'm just going to pause briefly too. I was, when I was, well, not brand new, but when I was a fairly new devotee, I was living in Dallas, Texas. We started the Gurukula system there. And Prabhupada came, and this was from his arrival address, and I was there, and I was very struck by it at the time. So I hope you can be patient to hear some of this, but this is what he said about joining Krishna's family, which that's what we're about. I mean, I don't know, I guess I'm being repetitious, but I know, but I have an excuse. Prabhupada is also repetitious, so and for good effect, I think. And so this is his words that he gave in this arrival address to the devotees there in Dallas. So this Krishna consciousness movement, this is Prabhupada's words. This Krishna consciousness movement means to become trained up sufficiently how to enter Krishna's great family. In Krishna's family, there's no sannyasi. Have you seen anyone, a sannyasi in Vrindavan? At least in the books? Meaning when we read descriptions of Vrindavan in Prabhupada's books, we don't see any sannyasis being described. Sannyas means to make this material world sannyas, finished, no more of this, renounce. Just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did. He renounced his material family life. He had a very nice wife, young wife, and he was a young man, 24 years old, and there was a very affectionate mother. Very big deal, and generally in Hindu society, mother is a big figure. Very affectionate mothers, and he had a very good position in the society. Nimai Pandit. Yesterday you showed one play called Chandkazi. Well, actually, he's referring just before Prabhupada arrived. We had done a play. I was playing Chandkazi. I was really good at being a demon, I have to say. Whenever there were roles where you could be a demon, I always thought, oh, wow, this is great. I remember playing Kamsa in a play where I got all of his different speeches of lamentation and uncertainty from Nectar of Devotion and from Krishna book, and I kind of put them all together into like a soliloquy, like Shakespeare-type soliloquy. And I was never so happy. It took me quite a while to memorize all these lines. But he was fantastic. Kamsa was a fantastic demon. I mean, he was really good at it. And so he said, so yesterday you showed one play called Chandkazi. So he was so influential, meaning Lord Chaitanya, though, in this case. He was so influential that simply by his calling, hundreds and thousands of men immediately joined to go to the Chandkazi's house to perform kirtan. So just imagine what was his social position. So popular, leader, he had a good position. As a learned scholar, he was known as Nimai Pandit, beautiful, very beautiful body, Gaurasundar, very beautiful wife, very honored Brahmana, Jagannath Mishra's son. He's Jagannath Mishra's son, grandson of Nilambara Chakravarti. Very social, aristocratic position, but still, he gave up everything. That means that although he had nothing material, but to show us that material things should be renounced, that is sannyas, and enter into the spiritual family of Krishna. Tyaktva dehang punarjanmanaiti mangeti. He does not become again entangled in these material varieties of life. In the material world, there is also varieties, but that is false. This morning, we were discussing this point. Mirage. In the mirage, there is a show of false water, and the animal runs after it. But there is no water. And finally, he becomes more thirsty, and it is desert. He falls down and dies. So in the material world means we are running after a false family. But don't think that there is no real family life. There is real family. That is Krishna's real family, eternal family, blissful family. So this Krishna consciousness movement means to train up people to be detached from this false family and to enter into the real family. That is the point. Not that if I give up this false family, I will become Jiro. Prabhupada would say that, like that, Jiro. I will become Jiro. No. There's no such disappointment. The other philosophers, just like Buddha philosophy, their philosophy is finish this, nirvana. But if people are not interested to finish all this, which is generally the case, people are not eager to stop their materialistic way of life, their attachment to their family members and so forth. In general, people are very reluctant to become detached from this. It still tends to be the all in all, although we know that's not quite the right way to go about it. But it goes here. He says people are not, but if people are not interested to finish all this, which he's saying most people are not very interested in finishing it, they want it, then what is the positive gain? So generally people are attached to these Buddhist and Mayavadi philosophies, therefore they feel hopelessness. On account of future hopelessness, they become more attached to this false family. But our philosophy is not like that. Our philosophy is that you become detached to this false family and enter into the real family. So this is the theme that I wanted to present. I think, in one sense, someone will say, well, yes, this is all very obvious. It's very obvious that this is what we're meant to do, how we're meant to be. Yes, it's obvious. It may be obvious. Many of you have been hearing these kind of messages for a good part of your lives. Or some may be new to it, I don't know. But Prabhupada's making the point that this is the challenge. We're in this material world, so what kind of association should we attach ourselves to? We're meant to become attached to Krishna and his family. And he also has given us a standard, invitation to join it and be completely happy. So that's our challenge. You could say that's our dilemma, and it's also our challenge and our opportunity as well. It's our opportunity. So since the purport today was referencing this book, Radha Krishna Gunadesh Deepika. This was translated many years ago by Kusakada Prabhu in 1987, actually. This is a book by Rupa Goswami, and it means Shri Radha Krishna Gunadesh Deepika, a lamp to see the associates of Shri Radha Krishna. So, just to give you an idea about some of the contents, he introduces which of Krishna's associates are protecting animals, protecting the domestic animals. Then he goes into the Brahmanas, the Lord Krishna's associates, worshipable superiors like Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda Devi, Parjanya Maharaj, Rohini Devi, Nanda Maharaj's brothers and sisters, his grandparents and their friends, Lord Krishna's nurses. Then this is where it gets really amazing, because he's listing the names of all these people and all these personalities. And you have to wonder, how does he learn all this, and where is this contained? But it doesn't explain it anywhere in this particular translation where all this information came from. But Rupa Goswami was an incredible scholar and a highly developed and liberated soul. So he also explains about the gopis, different kinds of gopis. There's the Varishtas and the Vara gopis, which means the especially exalted, and those who are just exalted. So in other words, there's the most exalted, and then there's just exalted. So all pretty good. Then it gives you a whole description about Krishna's crown, his earrings, armlets, flower shoes. They're shoes made of flowers. Parasols, couches, awnings. These are all things that are there in Vrindavan. Then the gopi messengers, the maidservants of Srimati Radharani, the activities of the 8 principal gopis, gopi messengers who arrange the meeting of the divine couple. So this is a description. This book is a description of Krishna's family members in Vrindavan. But some of it is kind of amazing. This list I'm sort of going to focus on a little bit, just whimsically. That's okay, it's just a little whimsical. These are Krishna's intimate friends, the Priya Narma Sakha. These are like Sridham, Sudham. So, starting with Sridham. Do you, actually, I should pronounce it correctly. Sridhama. It's correct, I think. Sridhama. Here's the description of Sridhama. A handsome, oh wait, how long was this class supposed to go? Is it already supposed to be over? 9 o'clock. Oh wow, is that strictly followed now? Okay, I don't have that much. I just wanted to read some of these descriptions briefly. Well, this Sridhama has a handsome dark complexion. He wears yellow garments and a necklace of jewels. He is a splendid youth, 16 years old. He is a great reservoir of the nectar of innumerable transcendental pastimes. He is Lord Krishna's dearest friend. His father is Maharaj Rishabhanu. Ring any bells? And his mother is the chaste Kirtida Devi. Srimati Radharani and Ananga Manjari are his 2 younger sisters. So just imagine a friend like that. Or even knowing a friend like that. Wow. And then, so there's different descriptions. Subal, and it goes into some detail. I'm not going to read all of it. Here's one. There's a friend called Gandharva. Handsome Gandharva has a complexion the color of moonlight. So just try to imagine that. He wears red garments and many different ornaments. 12 years old and full of youthful luster, he is decorated with many kinds of flowers. So it goes into different. Here we have one, it says Vasanta. Vasanta has a splendid fair complexion. His garments glitter like the moon. And he is decorated with various jewels. I like this one, Ujjwala. Ujjwala has a splendid reddish complexion. So we talk about people being different colors. The Goward boys are different colors. This is also described in Nectar of Devotion. Different colors. Very, very common, apparently, at the time. Not so common today, although we could say that people are different shades, but here it says a splendid reddish complexion. Now, it means it was very obviously red. And his garments are decorated with star patterns. And he is decorated with pearls and flowers. Anyway, let me skip ahead now. I wanted to read the part about Balaram. Madhu Mangala is kind of a funny description. Madhu Mangala was a dear friend of Krishna's, and he was kind of like Krishna's joker. You know, like the kings have jokers, you know, people that amuse them with various comments and behavior. So it says, he has a slightly dark complexion, he wears yellow garments and a garland of forest flowers. His father is the saintly Sandipani Muni, his mother the chaste Sumukhi Devi, his sister Nandimukhi Devi, and his paternal grandmother Parnamasi Devi. Now if you notice, women are not left out, like in ISKCON sometimes. Oh, it's improved slightly, I understand. Is that correct? I heard you say that the other day. Things have improved. But still, often not mentioned. But here, Rupa Goswami mentions everyone. Okay. Then there's the Gopi messengers. There's so many descriptions of Gopi messengers. Let's see if I can find this. Here's the description of Balaram. Powerful Lord Balaram has a fair complexion, the color of crystal. Now, I wouldn't know how to begin to describe what that means even, because the color of crystal, if you think of crystal, you think of almost like transparency or maybe rainbows when sunlight catches it. So this color of Lord Balaram is described here as the color of crystal. I thought that was pretty interesting. Anyway, I think that's enough. I've gone over time. Anyway, the point of bringing this, that it's not something insubstantial to be part of Krishna's family. These are distinct personalities, each one unique, each one full of love and admiration and awe and reverence, not just awe and reverence, but friendship, real friendship, intimate friendship, all the varieties of friendship, but all connected to that family, the family of the spiritual world. So we can also enter that family if we're determined and we adhere to guidance from great souls like Srila Prabhupada. So I'll stop there. My time is up. Any questions? I hope there'll be questions I can answer, but who knows? Yes, Prabhu.
Is the translation of the title of the book given? Is the correct translation of the title of the book given?
Of this book? Is the correct translation? He's given a translation. Whether it's perfectly correct in every aspect, I don't know. But it's pretty, it's pretty straightforward. These descriptions are straightforward descriptions.
What is the English translation of the title of the book?
It is a lamp to see the associates of Shri Shri Radha Krishna. So he's a lamp which will illuminate who they are. It's the who's who of Vrindavan. The who's who of Vrindavan, and that's everybody. Servants, messengers, spies, the gopis, the elders, the juniors, everyone. Everyone has a role. Everyone has a role. So, any other? Can you pass it? Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu, for your beautiful class. I have a technical question. I don't know, I always had that question. So when we hear about Krishna's associates, even Lord Chaitanya, his associates, they are always described in a certain way with a certain for example, Lord Chaitanya wears yellow dhoti, Krishna wears always yellow dhoti, Radharani is always with blue. But simultaneously we hear that in the spiritual world is unlimited variety. So how this associate and the Lord, they always wear the same thing and they always look like you described that associate always with reddish garments, with stars always. So I don't know, but I always, when I hear this, it comes to mind that question. But the spiritual world is full of variety. How they all always appear with the same dhoti or the same.
This is just to give us an idea, because he says, even the title, a lamp, means he's going to show how they're often dressed in this way. But even the variety that is in that same dress may be unlimited also. In other words, it's given description that Krishna wears a yellow cloth, a yellow garment. People like to say dhoti, but it doesn't say dhoti anywhere, it just says garment. So the garments may be of so many varieties. Even if we say yellow, that means one thing to you and something else to somebody else. There's different perceptions. So the point is, it's unlimited. There's unlimited variety in the spiritual world. So although these are convenient ways, you could say, of describing them, and no doubt they do dress that way or look that way, but then there's also much that this is just giving us a glimpse. But what's going on in the spiritual world is unlimited, beautiful pastimes of love, loving exchanges. Just what can I do what can I do to give pleasure to Krishna? How can I surprise him? How can I enliven him? How can I be useful to him? So this mentality is the real thing in the spiritual world. That not only that, but you look around and you look at everybody else that's there and you think how wonderful they are. And it's a different atmosphere than this world. So if we say something about something being yellow in this world, it may mean something completely different in the spiritual world. I mean, how do you, and he's just giving a hint, like he says, Balaram's color is like crystal. What? How can the color of a person be crystal? Yes, you can see different colors in a crystal, and sometimes, as I was saying, a rainbow effect. If the sun hits a crystal, you get an infinite variety of colors possible. So I think that's a clue, or that's an indication that whatever we think of it according to our material experience, it's completely different there. It's just giving us a hint according to our conditioning. Gives us an idea of what it's like. Or I give you a simple, a mundane example. Let's suppose, I know you haven't, but let's suppose you've been to the top of Mount Everest. And then someone says, well, will you please describe what it was like? Well, you may describe it, but I won't understand what it was like. Even if you describe it very fluently, I won't understand what that experience was. So that's just on the mundane level. What to speak of the spiritual world, which is an unknown sphere of existence for us, generally. Yes, Yasoda, see, I almost called you Yasoda Jivan, but I know that's not your name. Chaitanya Jivan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Rupa. Just on that description, I think it was in the 6th canto, there was a description about the complexion that we have in the spiritual world is something like the luminosity of the coral reef. So it's only like the luminosity, but just the fact that we're kind of neon-like with this, as you said, enter into this sort of light that comes off from the crystals, and you sort of got that complexion, but it's nothing hard, and it's nothing porous like the very limited elements that we have here. It's not.
Yeah, but and that was, and even that description of a coral reef. We know there are many brilliant colors, but of course they've been destroyed mostly now. But those that remain, there are a brilliant number of different kinds of luminous colors, as you say. So that's just a hint, though, again. That's just a hint. You know, if you're going to describe something that you have no experience of, I mean, if someone is going to describe to you something you have no experience of, they have to use terminology and descriptions that you're familiar with. So it's just to give an idea. But the actual thing is something very, very profound and amazing. Yeah. Okay, anything else? I think, you know, it's time for prasadam, isn't it? Is it? Is it? Yes, thank you very much. Hare Krishna.